And we're live. Welcome back to the Corn Up Show. This is the panel. We got Raven and Shadow coming in soon, but here we are right now. And we got Keith, Joe, and Lynn all live. Lynn is dealing with some technical problems right at the moment. She'll be back with us. And she's here. She's just having some mic issues.
We just can't hear her.
Right. So, liminal times. The times, they are a-changing. And I went over a few things. Okay, warning across the board. Not getting political. Not getting stupid. Okay? If you came here for that kind of show, click away. Because it's not that kind of show. We're talking about, this is...
Okay.
Yes,
Hey, no
Lynn,
click.
you are sounding good. Let me edit your
ticking
mic.
Stop?
It did.
Ticking has stopped.
You may want to move the microphone down near your mouth, though.
See, we have to worry if my ticking stops.
How's
If
that?
my ticking stops, which has been known to happen, then I do a face plant.
We
What,
all
Frank?
do.
Lynn, you sound good.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
It was a bad connection in the... Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Welcome back, Lynn.
Hey,
I
Lynn,
believe the term is
you'll
long
get a
time
laugh
no
at
see.
this one.
Not doing its thing correctly.
I can see it, I just don't recognize what it is.
Yeah, well, Lynn, you'll get a laugh at this one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
This thing's being a stinker. And of course, Frank has walked away, so it thinks it can get away with it.
Well, of course.
I'm getting seasick.
Nope. My double chin is not for sale or for open season. Let's cut it out here. There.
See, I came to the
There you
conclusion
are.
I get dizzy anyway, so this doesn't really bother me too much.
It's been a
I'm
day.
Yeah,
so
It's been a week.
busy, my head is...
Yeah, first hour, I went over liminal times. And we're in liminal times. I mean, energetically. Not... I'm going to touch on some sensitive topics, but we're not going to dwell on them.
For the muggles, as you call them, we used to call them Cohens, would you please explain what you mean by subliminal times? They might think it's the time between transitioning between the first floor and the second floor in the elevator. Wait 1 second, that is a subliminal time. Never mind.
That is it. Here comes Shadow. Shadow is here.
Hey, real quick question. Did you change any of the settings?
No.
Okay, because I can't access this show from my new laptop, and I'm wondering what the stuff.
I didn't
Well, I
change
can
any
tell you
settings
something.
other than... Hey, Shadow, give me another mic check.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're super loud. I'm trying to adjust your...
Okay,
your
let me.
Why are you
Yeah, I can do that.
camera?
Okay, I'll let you do it. No, I didn't make any changes other than like the little logo in the corner.
Is that better?
You're still loud.
See, I'm running into the other problem. Shadow's loud, but Joe's just about unhearable.
I'm going to adjust. Joe, you turned yours down. I'm going
Down
to...
to about 20, which is my usual.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are days when I'm half deaf. So.
I can barely make out Joe, and I've got this thing cranked all the way up.
Okay, Joe, go ahead and turn yours up a little bit. And
Yes, sir.
maybe go up to like 35 or 40.
And
Okay.
send me 50
Shadow.
while you're at it.
Yo.
Shadow. Okay, you sound better now.
Okay.
All right, everybody can Everybody can hear. Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah. Joe did the explanation. He said moving from one to another is kind of like moving up in an elevator. You're in the environment, it's moving, you're moving along with it. And I mean liminal, changing, not subliminal, liminal. And you're moving along up with it. You can't really do anything to change it, but you're along for the ride and you're having to
blow the
adjust.
cables.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's not the elevator of reality, Keith. But yet Joe put it in a good frame of reference for the muggles listening. And hey, muggle does not mean bad. It just means not awakened all the way yet. Just so everybody knows. Okay. A lot of people kind of look at that word and think, well, that's like an elitist word. It is not. It's just a way to differentiate. And anyway, everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. Okay. Shadow just came in. Okay, let's do some classic Quantum Show stuff. Shadow, you go first because your stuff is so...
Well, I'm
Did
sorry, what was the
anything
question?
weird? What you got weird going on?
Just tech issues, and they're not weird. They're irritating. Irritating. Yeah, that's it. Nothing.
So they're normal.
I don't know. Let me think about it. There might have been some weird stuff, like little tiny things.
All right.
Hey, Lynn, nice to be able to put a face to the voice I've heard so many times.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. Keith, I know normal is weird for us, for normal, for weird. But what have you had go on in the past little while? Week or so?
The biggest odd change had absolutely nothing to do with the metaphysical world, ironically enough. I was tying off book 3 of the Elderbachian Chronicles.
Glad you finished that.
Hasn't been finished. I'm still fleshing it out. I've got it tied off properly. Yeah, I've got about 50 pages left to finish writing to fill it all in and have it ready to go.
Oh, that's great.
Just as I tied it off the way I wanted it, I ended up getting handed another series to go on right after it.
Ain't the way.
Which means you can either follow the main character back to where it all began, or you can follow him to where he's going.
Nathan, I can barely hear Keith.
Okay,
I can only barely hear him.
Let me increase his volume some. I can do that from here, Keith.
Okay.
That's good, because I have no idea how I do it on this end.
You might blow us out a little bit, but let's get a mic check, Keith.
Okay, I'm presuming that means you want me to say something.
Yeah, there you go. How's he sound, Lynn?
Not yet. Maybe
everybody else sounds
I'm only
okay.
talking on one side of my mouth, so she can't hear out of the other one.
Well, you know me. I have good news, so that's good.
Good news is good.
I'm
okay,
happy
Keith.
for it.
One more time.
The biggest change for me is writing and tying off the third book in the Elderbachian Chronicles, where it brings it to a close. I've now got another series I've actually started writing that tacks right on to the end of it. Which will give people the option of following Jeremiah back to where it all started or to where he's heading. Basically a fork in the road. As Bill Gates put it, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Yeah.
And then hope you come up with a spoon later.
That's a good one.
Oh, Bill is so clever sometimes.
Yeah,
He's one of them.
He gets himself into some terrific messes, doesn't he?
I saw an interview with him asking him, how is a tech giant are you able to make any kind of decision on the medical front? And he responded with, that's not the way the world works. I'm like, I wanted to go from that point. Says, Bill, please explain to me here on the Quantum Show, how does the world work, Mr. Gates? I wanted to go what I call full Batman.
You know what? I'm tempted to be reminded of that song from Cinderella, "Impossible." Just impossible for for our lives to work this way, but it does. Works
Mhm.
perfectly well.
Well, I'm
Dog.
glad yours worked perfectly well.
Bella is talking.
Apparently.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, hey, James, I didn't see you there, buddy.
Huh?
I do
Is
not
James
know
here?
on.
I don't
James
see
is in
James at
the
all.
he's in the chat.
He's in the chat. Hey, James.
I see
Yeah.
Raven.
My
Hi, James. Hi, Raven.
Okay, that would be,
She's
yeah.
insistent, isn't she?
Joe is getting called away. Bella is like, you come here now. I hope
Yeah.
everything's
Bella
okay.
doesn't do that for nothing.
Hmm.
So it's something worth looking into.
Right. But yeah. Okay. Well, here's my weirdness. It has all continued. Spirit guides constantly, and it's welcome. Okay, don't think it's not welcome. Spirit guides constantly. I'm starting to really pick up on people's energies. All my phone calls are being guessed. I'm being able to say somebody's going to call me, and they will call me. Now it's like almost all of them,
Yeah.
and ever since, well, I said, let's do all of it. It has all been happening, and I love it.
How about that?
Hey,
You
Dorothy,
know,
thanks for coming in. I tried to chat to you earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay. My week's been adventurous in some ways. My little service dog that belonged to John has passed over.
Mm,
Our condolences.
Thank you very much. It's
I'm
a
sorry.
family member. She was 20 years old. I said she
Wow.
was 18, and I went to look, and in 20-year-old Chihuahua.
Makes her by
And
human years 140. We can say that was a pretty good
yeah,
life.
yeah.
Yeah, and I know you gave her a
But
good
she had
life.
it good. She had it good right until about the last day. Last day was rough on her, and it made the decision it was time for her to go ahead and go. She was
Mm,
suffering an awful lot, and so my son went with her and held her while the deed was done, and we thought that's the end of it, right? No, 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 no. Um, she always slept with my ex, and he woke up the next morning because he got bounced off his feet. Well, the other two dogs were out in the front room having their breakfast, and he was by himself, or not. She always bounced off his feet to wake him up. So gone but not gone. That's
mm-hmm.
all I
Just
have for you right
changed.
now. Just change, just a different room in the same house,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
Yeah,
that's been
we lost a cat at 24.
yeah. Yeah, that was a good old girl.
Yeah, that one we pulled up underneath the car after got run over.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, with Faye, she had gotten picked up by an owl and just torn nearly apart. And I kept her going the first night so we could take her to the veterinarian next morning. And I didn't have very much hope for it. I really didn't. That was 19 years ago. And he put her back together again, told me not to get too attached to her. I probably wouldn't have her for another year and a half. Well, 20 years later, the vet died before she did. So
She was
I think
meant
we
to
did
be
all right.
with you.
Oh,
See, that's as bad as what they did to
saved
me when I
John.
was a kid.
Yeah.
Doc diagnosed me dead and shipped me off to the morgue. I didn't agree, so I left.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there you go. But, you know, she saved John. She really did. In many respects.
Mhm.
So it's for him to lose her was for him to lose his baby, you know. So he's had a pretty tough time. Now, on the positive side, we discovered a hearing amplifier that's a Bluetooth. That if there's a phone call, all you have to do is tap a button. you got you got noise in your ear, which is good, and I can hear on the telephone. I had gotten another pair of Bluetooth that was working great, and this one fits inside the ear, and we have hopes that we'll be able to use it for the show.
You
So
do
we'll
realize,
see.
Lynn,
Yes.
any ear jack will fit inside the ear.
Yes.
Just some you need a bigger tamping rod for.
Watch it there, fella.
I'm just trying to be
You
helpful.
Someone's on fire
can get
tonight.
lost in there. I mean, it's got plenty of space. But that was a happy thing, and it wasn't a very costly thing because I have had, estimates on medical devices that are unreal, that about make you faint.
Mhm.
And I said, "There's nothing that I want to hear that bad," you know. So anyhow, I can hear Frank just fine. I can hear you guys just fine. All I need was an amplifier.
Yeah, but Frank's got a voice that'll carry across the city if he wants it to.
Uh, Frank is mad at least across the city. He can project to the back row.
Mhm.
So I think the other one that can get mad is probably Joe. Although
Yeah, but that part's a secret.
I've only caught Joe mad once. I didn't, and I was grateful not to be the guest of honor at the barbecue. You know?
Is someone who's getting roasted?
Yeah, yeah. It's a long, short story, and not one for here.
Right. Well, Raven should be coming in. I think there's technical problems going on over there. She just had a tornado go through, so her tech and mine is not doing
Wow.
so well because it's headed
Um,
towards me.
Ooh.
How
Oh,
does a
wow.
tornado qualify as a technical problem?
Towers are affected, lines are affected.
Well, that is true. And a nice tornado will neatly rearrange your house, but
Yes.
And not in a way you'd like.
well, it depends on how much you like your house.
But she may come in and fill this empty seat we got. So, all right. Let me flavor our conversation a little bit. Instead of the weirdness, how has anyone helped anyone? This week, easy thing. How have we helped someone?
Hey, I wanted my chance at the weird there, but that's all
Oh,
right.
we can go. Oh, that'll get to the weird. This is the Quantum Show. It'll always go back to the weird.
I can't hear Joe again.
Is your mic okay, Joe?
My mic seems to be fine. You seem to hear me.
I can hear you.
Now I can hear you a lot better now, Joe.
No, you're tapped
Now
towards
let's
it,
try
I think,
this.
maybe.
How about now?
That's better.
Okay.
You change mics?
No, I'm up at the opposite end. I'm at 76% now.
Oh wow. Let me. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna hands off this one. It seems to be working. I don't know. Cool. It works. I can hear a lot more background noise coming from you too.
Sorry about that.
Hey,
So
that's fine.
how was someone else? I'll go first if everybody else is scared too. Anyway, at the grocery store yesterday, yeah, I was doing my thing and finding my groceries, and I had this young man approach me, and he was probably in his mid-20s, I'd say, and mentally disabled. You could tell. And he came up to me and he goes, "Hi, I need a friend." I said, "Hi, so do I, as many as I can gather." He goes, "Can I be your friend?" I said, "Oh boy, that would be wonderful." And he screamed at the top of his lungs to his caregiver, "Dolores, I got a friend. Nobody else here wants me, but she does." And I looked at him, I said, "You're my friend, that's all that matters to me." So he
Well,
was just as happy as he could have been.
Good for you.
heck yeah.
Oh, I know it's got to be, people are, like you were saying earlier, scared to death of one another, very, very standoffish. And, I decided that I wasn't going to let that run my life. You know, and I've had plenty of people do me dirty, plenty of people, and I'm sure there'll be some more before we're finished. But I got a
Same.
friend. I think he did me more good than he did himself.
Samo, welcome to the show.
Hey, Sambo.
Hi, Samo.
Yeah, it occurred to me slightly before the show. There's enough controversy going on. Let's do a happy topic today. And we can go to all the other shows to look at all the crazy, mean stuff going on.
Oh.
Let's not do that. I wanted to do something nice
just
here.
the influencers, can't we?
All right, I'm out. I'm kidding.
Nathan, yesterday as I went to go pick up some wood chips, a lady drives up in a van and she stops and says, "Hey, you're the librarian, aren't you?" And I went, "No, I'm not a librarian." And she says, "Yeah. You had the bookstore on Dyer." And I said, "Yes." And she says, "Well, I'm the lady you let to go behind the bookstore and set up her tent."
Oh.
And I went, "Oh, really?" And she says, "Yeah." She says, "And I'm doing so much better now." It's not a recent thing, but it was a surprise. I don't think I had the beard at that time, but she recognized me anyhow.
Your eyes will give it away.
Well, guess what, Joe? You have gotten the new title. You are the librarian.
Sadly, you walked into that one.
Boy.
And it's perfect.
Once in a while, something that we've done comes back and tells us, "Yeah, we did good on that one."
Yeah. Okay, I'm the perfect librarian. Okay, we got that.
Oh, I'm perfect. Oh, I am
Don't let it
so
go to your head.
just keep it still.
See, we got Dorothy back.
Yep, Dorothy is back. She can stay up for the night, at least
All
for a little
right.
while. Yeah, my nice thing was I stop at this gas station on my way to work all the time. I work a lot, so there's a lot of that work related stuff. And they hired a bunch of new people. And this one girl they're having seems to be stressing more than the others. She's younger and she is doing the job there. And every time I've seen her this week, I said, hang in there. You're doing great. And I'm nice to her. And I give her compliments, like work compliments. And I'm hoping that those little compliments go a little bit further than just words. I hope they do. Because she's obviously scared. She looks like a deer in the headlights every time I go in there. And yeah, and I'm hoping that they're carrying through farther than just words.
You know, a word of encouragement to anyone, whether or not they are able to acknowledge it at that moment, mean everything. It
Yep.
does. We hear so much negativity in the real world, and it's not good for anybody. I mean, we
Mm-mm.
should be lifting each other up, not seeing if we can tear each other up.
Yeah.
And it's it's important to lift one another up. Because without it, we get human beings are fragile in their psyche and they're fragile in their feelings. And if it just takes a wrong word, just one wrong word, and
Mm-hmm.
it will bring someone crashing down. And you may not even know that you did it.
Yeah. And that's another thing with me is I don't want to take credit for any of it. I want the effect to be there. Just be nice to somebody and I just want the effect to happen. Because Joe, you brought up a long time ago waves of peace. No uh, waves that counteract each other and they cancel each other out. This is energetically speaking, and this fits perfectly on the quantum show. So all the negativity I see, stress, fear, uh, all that, and I see it there, and she's just starting. So I want her to do better, do good. I want her to do good. I don't know how she's doing. I'm hoping she's doing really good, and I try to counteract that negative with positive, and those waves flatten themselves back out because calm is the best thing I can try to do for somebody.
Well, the calm thing, uh, I think it was Belle Salisbury that told me one time that we have the capability of affecting an entire room. So I tried it. I wanted to see how it would work. I didn't realize it would happen in the middle of a near riot in Sam's Club uh, during the first days of the COVID quarantine, and everybody was scared silly and trying to get things they felt they needed for this siege, and so horribly afraid, horribly afraid. And of course, I'm an empath, so I thought, well, what better time to try this one? And so I started just sitting there, and I was able to sit because I did have a handy cart. Just sat there and smiled, with my hands in my lap, waited for Frank to do whatever it was Frank was doing. I don't remember now. But and just projected calm and peace at that crowd. All of a sudden, the shoulders started coming down, and the body stances started relaxing. People started helping each other. And it was a grand thing to see, just grand. But we all of us can do that. I think some of us just thinking, okay, I have calm. I'm going to push calm out into the room or the office or wherever you happen to be that's going a bit haywire. So, we can do that. We can also effect a complete riot. If you want a riot, you can create one.
Yeah.
I would rather not see that. Its karmic responsibility is awfully high.
Just because I asked them whether they want a Kleenex or something else.
You behave. You behave. We'll
Gee, I usually ask people if they want a shovel or a backhoe, but I'm not exactly known for being, shall we say, politically correct.
I don't think anybody here is. I'll try to be as nice as I can for as long as I can. But when that moment's over, just duck and cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that. There's also, I try to go to the restaurant here. It's an IHOP, but they're franchised and locally owned. And this is a family owned and run. And I try to be nice to them because the people going in are all angry and hassled, and they need an escape, and they kind of take it out on the people. And I'm going to do that from now on, Lynn, is project calm and happy and see how it happens, because
I'll bet you do it quicker than I can.
We'll see. I mean, I have to say, I'm remaining skeptical on all of this stuff, even though I'm actually running the entire YouTube show about quantum reality. I gotta say,
how's that working out for you?
Yeah, but Nathan, you didn't say you were running it without skepticism.
Right. I'm staying skeptical.
Do you know the best way to learn something, Nathan? Get up and teach it.
Yeah, I learned about PTSD that way because I gave a class for a month in one of my units. I learned more about. Yeah,
I learned about PTSD by going to my lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned about it because, well, I don't know if I've had that experience. Time will tell. But I was given a class. I learned the history, where it used to be called shell shock and battle fatigue, and now PTSD. And again, my information now is old, but I keep learning because the VA talks about it all the time. And
well, they need with all the trouble they've had.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing right now.
And sometimes it doesn't show up until years later.
That's right.
Or it may show up and you just don't recognize it.
Well, okay, on that level right there, I have PTSD. I won't go into the reasons for it. I am not able to do that. But it didn't show up till I was 42. And then suddenly it was every night and every trigger till I got a handle back on it. And once I did, I still have trigger. You got to be at the front porch on that one, Keith and Joseph.
Oh yeah, I did. What you're not entirely aware of is because of my being, well, you may be, but on that particular day,
Yeah.
I had a heck of a problem because I'm a full empath. And I was standing right beside. As a matter of fact, as I recall, I was holding your hand trying to help stabilize.
Right.
I'll tell you, I did my best to make sure you didn't see just exactly what kind of mess that caused. Not blaming you by any means.
No, I had no control of it. Not at that moment. But no, I didn't get a whisper of anything that you'd been through.
Well, that's
So
a good thing. That was the intention.
I have nightmares over hearing about it. I don't want to.
I mean, if you think about it, with what you were going through and your ability to calm a room, picture yours and my ability combined and unfettered. Just what kind of mess that would have created.
Boy.
Especially when you think the last time I had a PTSD attack, I opened the door across the room without actually getting to it.
Yeah. I tend to go right through them. So, you know.
Hello, Samantha.
Yeah,
Howdy.
I'm kind of enforcing a calm show today because, I don't know, I felt the vibe.
Yeah.
The vibe is chaotic. And
anytime we start even talking about PTSD, it sets up almost sets up for it.
Okay, who's throttling the cat?
Joe, that's you.
Joe, that's you.
There we are. Solved it.
Good.
I'll get that cat contained.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Hey, Samantha.
And yeah. Also, I've got this book sitting in front of me. I talked about it. I picked this up, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm
I used to
going to
have
be
that one.
reading this. You have it?
You know that? I think I have it in paperback still.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm
It's
pretty sure I
paperback.
do.
You know,
We
I
had
don't-
whole shelves of those, Nathan. You could have read them at any time.
I know.
You know?
I wasn't ready.
It's been years since I read that one. I remember it being good.
I didn't
But I
read that
can't
one. I just
remember
walked the
all
halls
what
and
was
was
in
done
it.
with it.
Yeah, this
That
one.
explains a lot there, Samo. I only sleep on the right side.
I always sleep on the inside next to the wall. Always. It doesn't matter what's going on.
There's a bunch of books available, but this one just screamed, "This is the one for you." So I got it.
Well,
And
time for you to read it.
yeah, and it's not a huge book, so it's going to be
Mhm.
easy to get through. And it doesn't look like that remote viewing book I got. Both of them. Oh, can't get through that. I've tried. I'm going to have to index it so I can like go to points in it.
You
Is
may
this
Instead
the
of-
same one we
ready
both
for it.
got there, Nathan?
Yeah, same one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
shelved that one months ago. Yeah. And I've got a stack of books, 2 feet high that I gotta blaze through over the next 2 months.
Yeah, Joe years ago taught me how to speed read, and it's an interesting method of doing it, but it works. But you have to have a lot of back end processing going on because you will take it in, but you're not. You
Which
can't say
method? Which method?
line by line
It's
instead
a
of word for word.
method. I didn't have a stethoscope to use, but it is a stethoscope method.
A what?
Stethoscope. Boy, it's hard to pronounce that.
Statistoscope?
Stethoscope. Right.
Testoscope.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Did that help?
It helps
seems
me.
to. It seems to.
No,
because-
I must do it on a basic level, because when I read a book, I don't remember even seeing words. I just ingest the book.
Hmm.
I see everything that's happening in the book. I hear the conversation. I'm there. I'm completely involved.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but reading a book means you're supposed to actually open the cover and flip the pages.
I've heard, but it doesn't work that way for me.
I quite often have a problem actually getting the book open, so I'll just pull the information and put the book back down. But
No,
apparently that's not actually reading.
I actually, I read it page by page, obviously, but I'm so involved in the book that I don't even know that I'm turning a page. I'm completely inside it. So it has my entire focus.
I've been able to do that in the past, but not any time recently. And yeah, being able to visualize and be a part of it, that's a really cool ability to do. And I gotta be able to.
I think it uses the entire mind. Because sometimes I'll even hear music with it. Music that I would prefer to have with it.
Right.
Well, we can safely say it's not the entire mind because it's not manifesting in the physical world.
Yeah, me too, Samantha. If I read more than 10 pages, I out like a light.
See, and I have to set it down in order to go to sleep because I won't sleep if I read a book. I'll just read the book. Boom. Of course, I can get through about an 800-page book in about 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
Ken
can't
would.
do that.
Yeah. My older brother used to go through he'd go through a minimum 600 book. He'd either go through a 600-page book in a night, or he'd go through 2 smaller ones.
Yeah, paperbacks are a nightmare. 200 pages, getting into it, and where's the book? Where's the rest of it?
And my problem is I can't read a whole lot, but boy, do I ever write a chunk.
Yeah, if I'm writing, don't even be in the way. Because I'm entirely engrossed and fixated on what I'm doing. I wrote a whole year's worth of articles for Bella Spree in about 2 months. And that was just sporadically.
Yeah.
And Bella Spree is a magazine that's put out by Belle Salisbury. I don't know if she still does it, but I wrote a entire series on the Wiccan wheel of the year and how it worked and what the visualization was on it. So then I turned around and did another year on a full book on forgiveness. So, and some forgiveness is necessary and some isn't. That's what I finally came to,
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? This is very starseedy tonight. This is what they talk about.
Yeah.
When they're not talking about, and this is something I wanted to go over again. Our people, our government people, have started talking about the Galactic Federation in that name. And they're not talking about them nicely. They're saying they're pushing the threat narrative. I disagree. And I agree. Yeah, I'm with you, Keith. If there was a threat, we would have already been on the other side, looking back.
Yeah, if we make the threat, we're done.
I had a conversation with them one day, and I don't mean the Terrans. I mean the consortium. And they laid out exactly how they'd go about it. If they were actually going to do it, if they wanted the planet, they would simply fire a subquantum EMP pulse from the other side of Mars. Take out the entire world, but not only the communication and electronic stuff, not the stuff that's all plugged in, but all of the component parts that have been built. Then they'd come in, like as in all the thousands of miles of copper coiling that had already been put together, they'd shatter it all.
I have a new proposal.
I don't know, guys. Maybe it's my more devious nature creeping out, but I would think that if as intelligent as they are, they'd find a way to get us from, have us do it to ourselves and basically hand us up to them on a silver platter. They're smart enough to find ways to
There's
get
a
us
problem.
to.
They are, but they
to-
don't have. If they want it, they're not going to wait that many years because humans are. Don't get me wrong. Humans do have some beneficial qualities, but the sad part is they don't react fast compared to what these guys are working with.
Right.
All
I
it would
would
take
think
is pushing one asteroid towards us.
No, I mean,
That's why.
it
That's
seems
why I
to
was.
me. It seems to me that there is a covert agenda to get us to be reprogrammed to what they want us to be. We make we make great laborers and for lack of a better word, slaves, and we're halfway there.
I don't think that's them. I think that's us. I think that's all the My Lab and the Black Ops. I don't think that's
Could be.
them. I'm pretty sure that's us doing it. And because I'm with R. Keith, if they wanted us gone, we'd have never known we were gone. We would just be,
Well,
wow,
that-
we're on the other
that-
side.
I was talking about this earlier tonight. We are an incredibly rare resource. We know for a fact that
Intelligent life, yes.
life in general it seems to be pretty rare. At least looking at our own solar system, it appears that one in 10 planets has life or less, and that alone could be worth a lot. I'm not going to say in money because we were just talking about money earlier, and I doubt that that's a thing.
Yeah, Keith's got something.
If they wanted a a willing labor force to do whatever it was they wanted, like the old I think it was Tales from the Dark Side or Outer Limits. We have a small talent for war. We're actually getting better at it, and if they wanted sacrificial pawns, we're just kind of waiting.
We've already
to,
done
offer
that.
ourselves up.
We've already done that.
I think Keith's got something to say. Go ahead, Keith.
Number one, humans are far too fragile for war. Number two, mankind is not learning how to kill. Mankind, and then the biggest issue around 1 in 10 mountain planets, that's because humans are thinking in terms of where they could live. But that is not the only place there is life.
I can see that, but from my own personal experience, we go to pretty easily and pretty steadily. We may not, be ready to fight anywhere, but we're willing.
Well, heck, people
Yeah,
are willing
look
to
at the
trade off
Virtus.
banana.
Look at the Virtus. That's just a history of us joining the gods in their fights.
Yeah, we folded like, the phrase "fold like a house of cards." We were whisked away like dust on a tabletop. There's no and there's no standing against that stuff. So, but like Keith is saying, we're recognized for the good that we do have, and we do, and I think that I maintain that we're in a wildlife preserve and we're being observed and watched.
Well, Frank and I, you looked at each other one day and said, "Wonder what we did to deserve this prison."
Mm.
So, I suppose it's possible.
Well, that's one way of looking at it, but I don't think that we're in a prison. We're just being left alone. It's like what Keith has said it too, and a bunch of starseeds have said it. They're waiting for us to elevate ourselves, and I said it.
They got a long wait.
Yeah, I
was
said
gonna
it
say,
earlier.
You ever see crabs in a bucket? Yeah.
Yeah.
About. And every time one of us gets anywhere near getting to a place of enlightenment and getting out of the bucket, Why, they just reach right on up and snap, down you come.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
one way or another.
I'm really about wanting us to be independently. Like, they're talking about disclosure. It's not going to happen like that
No,
because they think they're going to run society. I'm talking about our governments. But
I don't know. They've been very upfront about stuff here recently. I don't
yeah,
think they're telling all of it, but I think
oh no,
they've been more open about it recently than they have been ever.
I
I mean, what
agree.
do you want them to tell you?
Yeah, remember back in the bookstore, and I told you about the uh, the hidden space program,
Hmm.
and you were going, "Oh no, they don't have that." They're very open about it now.
I was
Yeah.
mistaken. I was totally mistaken. And see, back then at the bookstore, I didn't really know how far it went. And
I think
quite
they're just
honestly,
beginning to realize that there was something else out there.
yeah, and I didn't
Didn't look
realize,
either.
uh, Joe, to be totally, totally honest, I didn't realize who you were at the time.
Oh.
Okay, totally honest.
I
And
was
I
a
have.
bookstore owner. I was a bookstore owner. Just a lowly little bookstore owner. All right.
You know nothing from nobody, eh?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. Damo. There's a reason why it's above top secret. It's going to stay
Yeah.
that way until
And
somebody from outside says otherwise.
yeah, and you know what? I don't need the big world secrets to come out because to me, I am already talking to the Mantis people, or at least one of them, and I'm very happy with that. Disclosure accomplished for me, and everybody can do this. And it's just I am here on the ground here, and I literally reached out. By the way, let me just say this again. All this stuff is profound and thought provoking and interesting and in depth. But you know what it also is that nobody's saying? It's freaking cool. It's cool. It is so fun to be doing this stuff. No, everybody's forgetting that. And you know what? On a personal level, everybody should do this stuff. Everybody should do this stuff because it's so cool. I mean, I'm not saying I got favors to call in, but I can at least, ring, ring, hello. I still don't even comprehend his name yet, right? But hello, dude, I talked to you before. Do you remember me? That guy, right?
Yeah. You
And
know,
it's personal. Let disclosure be personal. And I think that's what the star seeds are doing. The
I agree with you.
young people, you know.
Uh, Frank and I had a close encounter of the very interesting kind, in a Chinese kind of way. Interesting, the old curse. And you know, that's all the disclosure I need. I don't need somebody else to verify or anything. The experience that we had that day.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to. We actually were able to not just verify, but get witnesses on it, and from MUFON for
Mm-hmm.
that night, and we actually were able to show Keith the spot, but it once that's happened, you see them everywhere. They are everywhere. They're
Yeah.
they're. It's not a question of them coming down a huge spaceship and being threatening. I don't think they want to be threatening. They would rather see us at our best than to deal with us at our worst
Yeah.
because they know that we don't have anything against them. We can't. There's nothing we can do in any way about them.
Mm-hmm. And I would rather work with them than be, tolerated. I know they
Oh
have to
yeah.
tolerate our dimensionalism enough as it is. So that's why another reason why I've been honing these things that keep, I don't want to say abilities because I can't really do them on command yet. But
Doesn't mean you're not an ability. It just means you're not 100% proficient with them yet.
Yeah.
I'm working
And
on it.
besides that, Nathan, you know, you can go to the store you used to work at, get yourself a pencil and paper, and keep a small notebook in your wallet, and so that when at times you get these experiences or something like that, or you think of something that you think is predictive or something like that, just write down your thought.
Yeah.
You know, have yourself a record. Include the time and date, and you'll be surprised at how more and more accurate it gets.
Well, you
Sooner or
know,
later, what happens is you start comparing your notes to the events that are coming up, and you give up on the idea of I'm just guessing. And you head
Right.
for
Yeah.
Your batting average will improve.
yeah, it does. You know, I have a short story going that has not been short. It's been about 5 books worth. And I won't go into what it says, but an average of about a week and a half to 2 weeks before things happen, I'll write about it in the book. I'm like, oh, nobody's ever getting hold of this book, never. I probably will not publish it at all. And I'm talking about everything from oh gosh, I was writing about the pandemic before it hit us. That was one of them. And I thought, oh, what a coincidence, right? Sure. And then hit some other things on the head. And just newsworthy things, not things that I would have any access to otherwise. You know, and then the alien thing. I think it's on some level we're going to discover, though, that a lot of the things we're attributing to how do I phrase this?
External forces.
Yes, external forces. Thank you. Aren't. I think they're human. I think most of them are human.
Right. Yeah,
Really
I
do
agree.
think that.
It seems like a lot of these things that are being attributed are not them. They're being used as a scapegoat when it's us. And my lab comes to mind.
Yeah.
Project 411 comes to mind. Missing 411 comes to mind. People want to say that's, unearthly. I disagree with most of it. I think it's us doing that stuff to us because I don't know, someone got some intel or someone got a piece of tech and they're running with it and they're using it for ego, fear, anger-based reasons, selfishness, and it's spiraling out of control.
No.
And well, it is not spiraling, it has spiraled out of control. And
there's not an awful lot the individual can do other than to make sure that his house and yard are cleaned up.
Yeah.
He
right.
lives his life in a proper way, for lack of a better term, a godly way.
Yeah.
Well,
And pardon me?
I'm sort of in agreement with you, but I also think that we as individuals need to break ourselves out of the habitual molds that we tend to put ourselves into. In fact, deliberately do something different every day.
Yeah.
Drive to work by a different route, vary the usual work order, wear a different outfit or occasionally, Frank, a different color.
Well, you know.
Arrange your desk differently, change your environment, turn your chair around.
My whole wardrobe is black.
My life to go through the roof.
You know,
my whole wardrobe is black. That's not changing.
Turn inside out, it'll be white.
You can use the other color black.
I'm only wearing black until I can find something darker. So
I'm bad about that too. I talk about going to work and I take the same route and I do the same thing. I have 4 shirts and pants in here. I've been wearing them for 3 years. Only those. So I need to mix it up some. Yeah, I agree.
well, just on the
Yeah, you need
mundane
to put
level.
some thought into your creative thinking.
I've
So
been
all you
working
gotta
on
do,
that.
Nathan, is wear your pants on your head and your shirt on your lap.
I am
No,
sure the dress code
That
will allow
doesn't
for
work.
that.
Trust me. I know
no.
from experience that does not work.
I have been working on my creative side of things because I got some stuff. Now it's going to be like, hands on. I added joints to this guy. He's got elbows
Oh,
and
for a
knees
minute there,
now.
I thought you were talking about the other joint. I'm thinking like, well, that'll be different, but
No, he's got elbows and knees now. And he's a little bit more expressive. And I've got another package of stuff around here.
Does that
So
make you
that's,
feel a little more alive there, Nathan?
it does. It
Excellent.
definitely
Excellent.
does. And I heard a
Well,
whisper. What was that?
just on a mundane point, just a mundane one. It's like you say, take a different route to work or a different route to where you usually go.
Hmm.
And I was taught that when I first started learning to drive. Dad sat me down and said, "Now listen, sister, I do not want you to ever come back to this house the same way." And I said, "Why are you saying it this way, Dad?" And he goes, "Sweetheart," he goes, "you never know who wants to hurt you.
Yeah.
You
Right.
never
Well,
know."
there's that
Yeah,
benefit. In fact,
yeah,
that you.
it was paranoia on his part. But you know what? I got in the habit of doing it. I saw
Right.
new things. I did new things. I stopped new
Yeah, I
places
live in
I
a
didn't see.
cul-de-sac. That's literally impossible.
yeah,
Come
pretty
in from
well.
above and
Hey,
underneath.
yeah.
It's going to
Let's
cause a
try a
problem for you.
parachute.
It
Unless
will
I
cause
start,
a little.
getting mole man powers, I got to come through the same way, and not a
Just
big
get a
fan of
bigger
fire.
car. I think they call
You've
it a
got a sewer
D9.
just like the rest of us. that they're trying it here all the time.
Yeah. I do that sometimes. I just haven't done it recently. Something I would do is I would just pick a direction and go there because I've got my GPS that I can not be lost for very long.
Following impulses is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
see,
agree.
I've got down to a
Point.
fine art. I can go in any direction,
Yeah.
and I can be somewhere where I wasn't planning on being. And GPSs, I just fry the poor little buggers.
I am so glad I don't have that going
By the
on. My
way,
Right.
technology.
If I get
Go
mad
ahead.
you
at the
told
GPS, the
Nathan,
GPS goes away.
just a rather annoying little note. You notice I've been moving a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I've been really moving around a whole pile. Yeah, you remember when we were first talking before the show, you asked me not to walk off the show?
Yes.
I'm sitting still. My blood pressure jumped to 160 over 78.
Oh,
Let
are
him
you
move.
okay?
Let him move.
Oh, it's fine. I'm having a minor heart attack. But you asked me not to walk off the floor.
Well, if you have due reason, of course.
Well, I'm not
Yeah,
dead
we don't
yet.
want to. Yeah, we don't want to see you in the hospital.
Oh, you
I got
won't.
one friend who. Well, I've already got a friend who does his shows from the hospital all the dang time, and trust me, nobody wants to.
That's not a
Oh, that's
correct
okay. I suffer
environment.
from PTSD triggered by the hospital, so I'm not going unless I'm dead.
Yeah, Frank's got that himself. After what he went through in 2014, he goes anywhere near the hospital, he just has a hizzy fit and
Like
wants
Well,
to
Well,
run
after the last
screaming.
year, you can't hardly blame him.
Yeah, that was a horrible year for him.
Hmm.
So I
It was a
got a
horrible
CAT
year
scan
for-
on Thursday, which is going to be lots of fun. And
Well, it's no problem. Just getting. You think about it, just trying to hold the cat's tail to get the scan is the problem.
Seriously, I don't know.
Well, we'll just send in the lab.
Yeah. That I have to take him on that trip because I don't drive, and he's not real happy about it. I know he's not.
Okay.
Not his fault.
Me and Amy are gonna get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Nobody have a heart attack or anything while I'm gone.
There you
Stop.
go,
Be right
Keith.
back,
Go
please.
get some coffee. Walk it off. Walk off a heart attack. You can do it.
Oh, I already went and got my hawthorn berry.
You're supposed to do the walking for the heart attack before the heart attack.
Yeah. See, I was driving my son to work one day a couple of years back, and he looks at me and he goes, "Dad, you're looking a little, you're not looking well." I see. He goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm in the middle of a heart attack." He goes, "Well, shouldn't we be going to the hospital?" I said, "Probably, but I'm going to drop you off at work. I'll go home and sleep it off."
The worst of it is, I know you can do it.
Well, that was sort of him. He looked at me a couple of days later. He comes up to me, looks at me, and goes, because I was having trouble breathing, he goes, "Dad, you're not looking well." Yeah, you're not dying. I'm going out. Like, this is way too common.
Kids these days, right? No respect.
The most respect I ask for is just don't come to the hospital and try to talk my ear off if I'm in there, you know? I'm there for a reason. Let me just relax.
Yeah, put me in the hospital. It's not a time to relax.
I'm not excited about going to no hospital. I mean none of them. I'm not excited about. And I will never allow a doctor to put me in UMC El Paso, ever. No, I'm skating on the razor's edge of libel, so I'll shut up.
Well, last time I went to the hospital is because I separated the shoulder.
Yeah.
I walked in and they wanted to know what I was laughing about.
Just either laugh or start screaming, right?
No, I just said Vietnam era vet. And they went, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Joe,
fine.
you're one of these wonderful people that can actually relate to the mess I had. I grew up a full empath on a military base during the Vietnam War.
Ouch.
You know, they wouldn't send me off to war. Of course, at that age, I was a tad young, but the military wouldn't take me anyway. Something about epileptics and automatic weapons.
James Wolbert. Never mind.
Okay, we're all still here except for Shadow. Did he? Is he?
Well, he fell on the
went
floor.
to get coffee too.
Oh, okay.
Let's say
I
the
was almost
military's
about ready
missing
to-
one desk because of him.
I was about to fall on the floor. I was like, "Yeah, my coffee level is running low. I am having mushroom infused coffee." There he is.
Careful about
Yeah,
that.
Shadow doesn't drink
Yeah.
coffee. He only drinks water. Nothing but water. 24/7.
I thought I saw gray on Shadow's shoulders.
Gray?
The collar.
In his collar, yeah.
Oh yeah, the sleeves are gray, but you know,
I think the hood
Gotcha.
is too, isn't it?
The trim on the collar
Yeah.
is, but
yeah. And I do have a white
Doesn't
shirt that I wear on my other show, and I do have a red
Gray in
top.
there. I'm not going to yell at anybody else.
I
see,
got
I
some
figured my
too.
hair started doing that when I was 16. So I just look at it going, it's color. Besides that, it turned into my favorite color,
Black?
gray.
Gray. Okay.
When I was growing up, people would ask what your favorite color. Well, I only had a choice of 3: gray, gray, or gray. So I picked gray.
Oh,
Anything but olive drab.
yeah. There's a guy at work. He painted his truck in olive drab bedliner, and I'm like, oh, cool. It looks like a giant Tonka toy. Awesome. I'm glad you're happy with it.
Yeah, if it's moving, shoot it. If it ain't, paint it green.
No. No.
My brother, the first job he ever had was painting live grass green.
Rocks white.
Live grass green?
I had
Live
red and
grass
white rocks.
green.
Red and white rocks.
I had
Hey.
red and white rocks in my unit.
Okay.
You're going, why would he paint the grass green? We had a major community event, and it had been an extremely dry summer. So the grass was a little brownish.
I
So
thought
our
you lived in
illustrious
Canada, not
government went, well,
California.
paint the grass green.
So is a public community sort of thing?
Ultimately, yeah. I was kind of looking at it going, you do realize that's actually going to kill the grass, right? It did, but, you know.
Then you just paint the dirt green and you're good to go.
Exactly.
You know, I
Actually,
saw a
We're
thing.
modeling on a
That
huge
sounds like
scale.
human reasoning.
Yeah, I saw
Actually,
this thing recently being advertised. It looked like paint, but it was actually spraying some kind of micro seed, and you could show it growing. And it's like in a week, you would have a carpet of green grass. I'm like, what
Right.
is this?
What
I believe in
country is
chemistry
that?
class.
You
we
know,
called
those
it
people
we
talking
called it
about lemon
multi-organ.
juice on the chat there. Right now, I wouldn't worry about just the lemon juice. I'd put a little iodine in with my
Oh boy,
in my foods when I can.
very good.
Yeah.
I get plenty of that. Oh, and Keith, I took your lead on this one. I've been taking, where is it? Hawthorne.
Hawthornberry. Yeah.
Yeah, I got these because I don't want that kind of problem either, and I forgot some mine today, so it's
Now,
time.
you
And
wanna
fresh coffee,
Hear a goodie on that one?
sure.
I have to give a list of everything that I take every time I go in to the pulmonologist. He's taken my list and handed it out to the other patients. All of them, not just one or two. And hawthorn berries right in the running.
Yeah.
And I
Well, it's
and
one
I
of
bet
those
you the
things-
iodine's in there too.
Yes, it is.
I wonder who suggested that. Oh,
You know, iodine would. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, we might have a nuclear event, right?"
We've had a nuclear event.
one. We had one back in what was it, 2013?
I don't know.
Fukushima
We've had
has
several.
not gone away.
Right, and it's still
Still going on, expanding. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, that hasn't gone away, and I sort of am annoyed that people think it has.
yeah, it's not over.
No, it's not.
India's not even over yet, and that happened how many thousands of years ago?
Yeah.
They're still it's still happening. Half-Life is I don't even know what the half-life is. It's something ridiculously huge that we have a hard time conceptualizing.
Half-life is 5,000 years.
Okay.
of what?
Of
Nuclear weapon.
Yeah,
right.
which nuclear weapon?
Yeah, well, the one they used in India,
You know,
The one
because
they
it's
were
still
using
there.
that one
like
was
cobalt.
my-
How you know how what the half-life is of cobalt?
No,
You know you can't. You know.
I don't even bother with it. I figure it happened. And I'm going to be dead before it sorts itself out. At least that'd be the theory.
Mhm.
You know, Nagasaki and Hiroshima were atomic bombs,
Hmm.
and nothing like they're capable of doing now.
Right.
Yeah, those are firecrackers compared to what we got now.
Yeah, precisely. And that,
Yeah, and
you know, Chernobyl had their meltdown, and the animals
Liminal
have been
Island.
able to evolve.
Hey, Cindy,
quick
welcome to
enough
the
stay
show.
ahead of it, but not by much. And of course, they have their mutations going on pretty badly. So it's not a small
And
matter.
and we're off giving other countries depleted uranium to go shoot at each other.
Hmm.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that makes us culpable.
Well,
Yeah, and
on the plus side, we've done this before. I'm not
Yeah.
entirely certain if that's actually a plus, but I've seen this happen multiple times over the past several centuries.
Yeah.
And mankind they really haven't learned. They haven't changed that much at all.
I think you mean the last several eons, but your point is well taken.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in all fairness, considering the length of time my memories go back, it's a lot further than eons.
Yeah.
man, one of these days I would love to sit down with coffee and just listen to your stories, Keith. When
Well,
there's
you know how to
plenty of
find me.
time. Yeah. When there's plenty of time. I don't want to interrupt you. You're doing stuff. You've got your writing and you've got your own show. And I don't it's just this is the Quantum Show. I don't want to interrupt. I want to move with the flow. Your
I
flow.
want to interrupt him. I want to know what went on.
How long ago? I mean, you think about it,
Get
Nathan. If you
planet.
want
Get
time when I'm
planet.
not actually doing something, you gotta wait till I'm dead.
Right. Getting on the internet is a little hard that way.
I
It
don't
is.
want to Ouija board you. You know?
Oh, don't.
I really don't.
Ouija boards are passe. Use a
Yeah.
psychomantium. Far more direct.
That
No, I'm not
probably
going to tell you how to build a psychomantium.
No.
No.
But let me put
I
it this
know.
way. A Ouija board opens a gateway that you can communicate with from a spiritual standpoint. A psychomantium, if built correctly, creates a physical portal that you can go through. Not necessarily a good idea.
Well, getting in, if it's easy to get in somewhere, you ought to be thinking about how hard it's going to be to get out.
It might be an idea. It's kind of like a lobster trap. Real easy to get through the door.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh my God.
You look very good without your hat, Shadow. You can see your face
Thank you.
and everything.
Yeah, it's getting warm here.
Oh yeah, it's been very warm here.
Same.
We had 90-degree weather last week. So
I was ill for 90-degree weather.
I got knee-high tomato plants.
Nice.
yeah.
Mine are
Oh,
still
Joe.
about 2
Go
inches
ahead.
tall. No,
You know
that's
what?
it. Mine are just little bitty things.
I've been seeing things about gardening, and I keep a lookout on this stuff. Basically, you put an antenna in your garden on a tomato stake, and you just ground it 4 or 5 inches down, and that will increase the yield and increase the growth. It's
As long as the
what
lightning
is
doesn't
it
hit it.
called?
Well, that'll
Yeah,
increase the growth.
yeah.
It'll just pop them all. You'll be growing
Yeah.
tomato sauce
I
in no
need
time.
to.
Do you know?
There's a word
do you know
for
Barton?
it.
Do you know Barton Warnock?
I do not.
Okay, well, you look him up anytime you want to. In fact, down at the Big Bend Ranch, they have a state park for him now with a visitor center. Yeah, he and I and a bunch of other students were working on that back in the 70s, okay?
Mhm. Yeah, it's like a
And
forgotten
yes,
practice.
I don't think it's been forgotten. It's been a fringe practice is what I would say.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking up the totally wrong thing. Because Electric Garden is
Isn't he
apparently
isn't
some
he the
nightclub.
professor you had that had a interesting situation with a cow showing up in his bedroom?
Well, that was Dr. Warnock. I don't know whether anybody wants to hear that or not.
It's a great story. You should tell it.
Please do.
Okay, well,
Tell us the story, Joe.
Dr. Warnock went to sleep one night, and I don't know if you know anything about the little town of Alpine, Texas, but back then, nobody bothered to lock their doors. So a bunch of students got in, and they dressed up to try to be a big monstrous beast because Dr. Warnock always said he's not scared of anything. And he was a short little cowboy, by the way. Anyway, they walked into his bedroom dressed up and had cloven heels put on the front of their shoes, and you know, fangs and the whole 9 yards. And they stood at the edge of his bed and woke him up and took one look at him, and he looks down at their heels and goes, "Cloven heels, you're harmless." He went back to sleep again.
Not a carnivore.
Not a carnivore.
You might tell him what he taught there at Alpine.
He taught range animal science. He taught geology. He taught pretty well any of the earth sciences. Ichthyology.
So he knew what to look for. I
Right.
remember hearing that story.
Hi, Hitesh. Glad you can make it in. Glad to see you.
Hey, Tesh. Yeah, thanks for coming into the Quantum Show.
All right, Tash.
The librarian invited her.
I invited her.
See, you even
What she
admitted it.
said.
Well, I think we only have 6 spots.
Yeah. Well, she's not trying to come in. She's just in the chat room. So that's cool.
No, it says invite me.
Oh. Invited me. Okay.
Invited him.
Right.
Mhm.
Invite
Yeah,
me means send me a link
to
to
the
join the
show.
show. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't see that. What? Now I'm looking at it, and it was
Edgar Science is here.
Hey,
And
Edgar.
Jeanette Angel.
It's hard for me to look at the
and
chat.
Now I want
Another
pancakes.
angel.
Is that weird?
And
Pancakes?
Well, it depends on who's making them.
Me, probably. I'm the only one who cooks around here.
Well, then it's not a bad setup.
You're the only one that cooks? Oh, boy.
you are in good company because I cook. Joe cooks.
Well, I mean, my
Nate
son can
cooks.
microwave. My son can microwave ravioli out of a can. That's about it.
I hope he takes it out of the can before he
Yeah,
microwaves
I hope
it.
he takes it out of the can. Yeah. Destroying
Yeah,
microwaves that way.
I did teach him that.
All right. Well, he's on his way then. Nathan cooks for himself.
See, I figure I can't gauge time, I can't engage space, and I don't have taste buds to speak of. The kitchen is not my forte.
Yeah,
No, I can cook
did you tell me recently your oldest is coming back home?
Yeah, the one that got trained as a chef.
There you go. Now you're cooking. All right. You know who's in charge of the kitchen now.
Oh, I won't argue with him. It's like, go ahead. If that's what he decides to do, but he is quitting the job because he doesn't enjoy it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Not really.
No,
It was
it's
funny.
the right thing to do. It's the right thing.
Well, it was funny. He came to me about a year ago and he goes, you know, Dad, I wish I had listened to what you had told me. I said, oh? He says, well, you told me I didn't have to have my life sorted out by the time I was 20. Right. I said, yeah. He says, I should have listened. He says the problem was literally everybody else told me I had to. So I took a career choice that I don't actually enjoy. And, you know,
Has he
from my
thought about what he
experience,
does want?
yeah, he's becoming a psychologist, which ought to be fun.
All right.
But he does have the mind for it.
You know,
Do you need a clinic for that?
just stop it there. You need to behave.
No, the funny part about it is he's not going to try and psychoanalyze me. He already
You
came to
better
the
hope
conclusion
not.
that
If
wasn't
Oh.
he does, will you
You better
promise
hope
me?
not.
I want to be there.
You gotta, you know, a lot of stocks and bonds he might be interested in, because you know.
No, I've had 3 shrinks tell me I'm perfectly fine, excluding my temper where it comes to dealing with what I consider stupid people.
Yeah, but Keith,
Well, then you must be irate as much as I am, which is about 90% of the time. There's a reason I never go outside.
Pretty much the same one I don't.
Well, you know how often I go out.
Yeah, and usually
Found
that's
it.
kicking and screaming and trying to hang onto the door frame.
Oh, yeah.
What you
really.
looking for, Nathan?
Not that bad, but
Electroculture.
Yeah, electroculture, and then Barton
Edgar-
Warnock.
Edgar still has
Hey,
a
Nathan.
fixation on IHOP and pancakes.
Nathan,
dude,
fork, light socket, instant electroculture.
Right. Did that with a plug socket. I have had that experience.
yeah,
No, I
I've
was
been
a-
hit by lightning and hit a hotline before. Yeah, not a fan of electricity entering my body again.
No.
When I was a little kid, I decided that if a little DC motor from one of my toys worked so well off the batteries,
Uh-oh.
it ought to work real well off the wall socket.
How'd that work?
Poof!
Hold up
Magic
your hand. Hold up
smoke.
your hand. Let's see your fingers.
Well,
You got all 7 of them? You got all 7 of them?
Well, notice the one.
Mine are built a little different than yours are.
Yeah, one's built a little different than the others.
That wasn't electric. That was woodworking.
No, that was woodworking.
Yeah. No. I don't touch tools like that.
I had my first encounter with electricity when I was about, I don't know, probably 13 or 14 years old. And my dog had decided that the neighbor's pony was how they made dog chow, and I don't know who told him that, but apparently he thought so. It was chasing the neighbor's pony. Well, that's not cool. So I went to see about getting that dog out of there. And I had let him out into the other side, told him to go home. He had started on his way. And I caught the electric part of that fence, right between the shoulder blades. And next thing I know, I am face to face with a cow. It's a big cow. It didn't like it. I was in his pasture. And I looked up at him and I said, I'm not here because I want to be. And Bull looked at me and went, you know. And I said, I'll leave if that's all right with you. And I turned over and started crawling off towards where I knew I could get through the fence. And he helped me. He threw me over the fence.
Well, that was nice of him.
So I learned 2 lessons that day. Don't mess with the electric fence, and don't bother the bull. No.
No, a buddy of mine tried and pulled one a little better. He's been hit twice by lightning bolts. And as he said, everybody says lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. It says,
Yeah, it does.
I wasn't in the same place
Well-
the second time.
They knew where to find him.
When I was at Sol Ross, there was we had the experimental farm right outside the health and PE gym, in which my dorm was on the third floor of that gym. And I looked out one night, and there was one of the bulls standing there next to the fence, right next to my car, which I had parked near the fence. So, next morning I went out there and I looked, and there was something a little different about that bull. He was standing there with his tongue on the fence.
Oh boy.
We had
That's
had
not a good
electrical.
thing.
Yeah, we had an electrical storm that night.
Yep.
He was standing there dead.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
God.
I lived through it.
It electrocuted him in spot, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Edgar wants to know if it was a talking cow. No, I understood it quite well without a word.
You
we all
understood.
do.
wanted
They move.
coffee. He wanted solitude in his pasture, and he was willing to throw me out of it to get his point across.
You understood the bull.
That was not a good bull to mess with, I'll tell you. He was not a happy bull at all.
Well, that's because you were in his pasture.
Well, I've been grabbed by bulls before. My dad had a Charlet, which is a white bull, and they're not known for their patience or their tolerance.
And we have a roof.
And pardon me?
That's
We
me.
have a roof.
That's me. That's me.
Okay.
That's you.
Anyway, I would feed this bull apples and onions. Okay, loved them. And we had I don't know precisely. Oh, I remember. I went through the floor of the pen. I was upstairs in the upper part of the barn, and I fell through the floor. Bad bored. And face to face with this Charlet, who didn't like people, put up with me pretty well because I usually bring them gifts. But he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, "I'll leave joyfully. Just let me get over this side of this pen." This pen was about 9 feet deep with iron bars, and it was too skinny for me to slip through, and threw me into the what in the world?
Okay,
Anyhow,
yeah, that's
he
me.
threw me into the other part of the barn. The worst part of that was the manure. A big pile of it. Face first. I looked at him. I said, "Thank you for not killing me."
That took a really long time to get this on screen.
What is it?
This is electro-agriculture. Some text that I can't copy from. I'm getting an echo. I'm hearing myself talk.
You've got 3 screens open, Nathan.
I don't have any sound playing.
Well,
No, but you got
think so.
3
pretty
screens
loud.
running, which is what you're getting the feedback from.
Right.
Oh,
You've got the roof, you've got the text, and you've got your face on 3 separate
here we
screens.
go.
I'd kill the roof.
Okay. All right, that got it. No more echo. Anyway, the roof is. Oh gosh. You know what?
It's
Never
got to
mind.
stay up there.
Electroagriculture. Google is your friend. I'm getting rid of that. I don't even care about this no more. This is not working. I don't know. My connection is too small to deal with this.
Just remember, Nathan, you got to keep the roof right where it is.
The roof stays.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone was saying, poker face on a bull could be pretty scary. A bull could kill you so fast you don't know it hit you. I think the only reason he didn't, and like I said, they're not known for their patience or the tolerance. And the only reason he didn't is I had always been nice to him. So he didn't really have a need or a want to kill me. Edgar says the pancakes are your friend. Now,
I'm more of a
can't
waffle
see
guy,
how you
but
could be friend with somebody you're gonna eat. Now that's just doesn't make sense to me.
Hey, look, the cannibals do it all the time. They play with their food. Don't spit that out, Nathan.
I'm not touching that one.
I knew it. There were 3 dirty bites. No, 4.
Mm-hmm. Bow chicka wow wow. 4.
Yeah, there's 5.
That's only because there's 5 of us here.
That's right. That doesn't count everybody in the chat who heard all that.
Let's go with the positive thinking thing. They didn't hear it.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. That's called delusion.
Yeah, on your part anyway.
Ooh. Okay, I'm having fun, y'all, and that's.
Okay.
Hey, you know what we're doing? Generating happy waves, and it's fun.
Yeah, that electroculture has been tried since the 1920s, by the way, Nathan.
Yeah, the paper that I looked at was from 1963.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been tried since the 1920s when, being able to generate electricity was becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Frank, they're singing your song in the chat.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah, that's the one.
We could go really, really off color with that in one heck of a hurry.
Yeah.
Make everybody happy.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Okay.
It was electroculture was presented in 1749.
Oh wow, cool.
That's earlier than you thought.
Yeah.
Well, it was at least since 1928.
Who was talking about it in 1749?
Wasn't that Washington?
No, Abe. Let's see, Abe Nolet was presented in Abe Nolet.
I don't think I know that.
And then we got other people that have presented it since then. And
Sorry, in 1729, out of
1920,
Louisiana, I think.
Was Mary Shelley one of them?
1940s?
Huh?
Was Mary Shelley one of them?
Not listed. Should have been.
Just paying.
Another one that, the life force comes from lightning.
Get that hair out of my way.
That's why they invented shears.
I don't know, Samuel. Can you beat a full house?
Not this one.
I don't think you want to try. Oh, Lynn-Ann, I finally got that seating exercise that Master Han wanted me to do. I finally did it this morning.
All right.
And I'm going, those muscles don't work that way.
Could you get up? That's That's key. Did you ever make it
Yeah.
out of there?
Of course
That's
I
the
didn't.
key.
Hey, I've seen him lean sideways before to get out of it.
Oh yeah. I
Well,
think
Sam,
you gotta learn to get up
we
from a
got
prone
like a handful
position.
of jokers from the looks of things.
Oh yeah, they're just having fun.
Yeah. It was a heavy
They're
week
just
for me,
having fun.
guys. It was a heavy week. I mean, I started out knocking the crap out of myself in the shower and then getting
Nice.
better.
So yeah,
I mean, I'm almost better.
How's
I
his
just
ribs?
can't. Yeah. I, I, I'm almost better. I mean, I'm like a month's healing done in less than 2 weeks. So,
Yeah. So you've been better battered.
yeah.
Do you throw some of that mentholatum deep heating rub on there?
I never got a chance to get any. I need
And
to.
you're wondering why you're still hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if nothing else, just
Listen to
grab
an
some
old
Vicks.
witch, will you?
Vicks, that's what she's talking about.
If you're, I mean, you can always grab a live electrical cord. It'll take your thoughts
What is
on
with
paying
this
your
light?
anal and throw it all out the window.
Yeah, I wouldn't
That's
have to
one
worry
way to
about it
deal with it.
then.
What in the world are you doing, Joe?
I'm watching this lamp go to sleep.
Okay. I have a
He's trying the refrigerator stunt to see if the light goes off.
that just has to. That's a very odd way to entertain yourself. I don't know.
Maybe I should just Legos. Legos work. Fun way to entertain.
I always found them frustrating.
My
Of course,
frustration.
I found out
Nathan,
much
go
later.
play with your own rubber ducky.
I found out much later in life why I found Lego really frustrating.
What's that?
Everybody wanted me to connect the yellow one with the yellow block with the white block, mix it in with the red blocks. I was looking at gray blocks. There weren't white, red, and yellow blocks.
They were all gray,
They were all gray.
colorblind.
It was great. It made color coordination easy.
Yeah. You have a color blindness.
I could see two shades. I could see the specific shade of red that happened to be on the street lights and the specific shade of green. Other than that, I saw gray.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And then these nice
my
people decided they were going to
stepdaughter
change the coloring.
My stepdaughter has color blindness, very rare in women, and they say eventually that that all the color will fade for her. She's still working on an answer for that, so I told her I said, just don't participate.
Well, I will tell you this: for me, it was an overdose of morphine and anesthetic that kicked it back in.
Okay.
But for her,
I'd
get
rather
her to
she
take.
didn't do that.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
No.
But for her, if you get her to focus on, pick a color, focus on that color, and expand that image,
Uh-huh.
where she literally can train her brain to recognize what that color is.
Well, I'll talk it over with her, see if she's game to try the experiment.
Well,
She's got a
you
lot
might
on
want
her
to
mind
avoid
these
the
days.
trying it.
I think I
Pardon me?
won the war with a lamp.
All right.
See, I found an easy way to win the war with the lamp. You just pull the plug.
Euthanize them.
I like to use tools.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
You're worried about self-incrimination then, huh?
No. Oh.
Okay.
Edgar,
I was-
get out there and spray them with water.
Really?
Okay. Sorry, I had to
That's the
take care of something.
strangest conversation they're having in that chat room. Now what? You know?
Samo is a lifetimer. He is a great fan of the show, and we met in a very good way. Met over on GUFON, and to me that's a very good way.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's quite a card.
but
I was just sitting there. What I had caught was while they fight, she watches and laughs, and I'm thinking, now what? You know, it's funny. I thought he was talking about us. I'm so sorry to interrupt your conversation. Please go on. You know?
all right. Well, I think I want. Has anybody read anything or done anything about Atlantis in the past week since the last show?
Me,
Yeah.
Just
What do you
YouTube.
Well,
got?
are we talking on a personal note, or are we talking about studying it?
Studying it. We'll go personal in a few minutes if we got time.
Well, it depends
Just,
on your
watch
definition of
the-
study.
watching more recent, YouTube videos. That's,
Mm-hmm. What'd you pick
You know,
up?
just, that whole Sahara Desert thing, people arguing back and forth between whether it is and isn't. I need to take out a really good map and do some triangulation before I'm satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I've thought the thing over back and forth for the last few years, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suppose that, given the enormity of that catastrophe, that there is many stories about Atlantis as there were people that participated in that particular exercise.
Yeah, and there were
So-
other cities that had the
Yeah.
similar design, reflected the same design.
Yeah, because I figure we're all still human and we're gonna do what we know to do, and the similar design carries on.
Right. Now, I don't know that much about any of the other cities that were purportedly involved in it, like Lemuria and and I had it a second ago. But I think that again, their circumstances may have been very similar to what happened to Atlantis. People decide that they know what's best for all, and another 50% say, "Oh no, you don't. Not for me, you don't." And it's a whole free will thing with it, where it comes to human beings. Half of us think one direction, the other half thinks the other, and then
And
they
the other
all
half don't
decide
think.
yeah, exactly.
Half?
I was trying to be nice.
I was too.
Okay.
All right, 90% of them didn't care, and 10% of them fought about what was right. How about that?
See, I always found
that
1%
matches what
made
we're
people.
doing now.
1% may make things happen, about 4% watch things happen, and the other 95 wonder what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've
that
been
is giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I've been looking at videos too, just like Shadow has been, and only because it's been my work week, and now I'm going to dive into this book. I'm going to be diving into a couple of books, and barring
They're not
any
hard.
recent events, right?
Yeah.
Talking about well, not all recent events, but news events. They found a thriving metropolis worth of cities in South America
Yeah.
that are completely grown over. Same thing going on over in the deserts of the Middle East. They're seeing so many of them, and the new satellite technology imaging stuff has been able to show us these things. Go ahead. LiDAR. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I've been telling people, like, people keep talking about us being overpopulated at this point, but 40,000 years ago, we had over 10 billion people on this planet without war. There
So
wasn't
we
a
know
war
it
that
can be
was
done.
major.
Yeah.
Oh, we absolutely know it can be done.
Yeah, and I'm with Jared on this one. What's his name? Let me get his name. I can't remember his name.
Murphy.
Jared Murphy. I'm with Jared Murphy
Yeah.
on this. Something he said was I heard him on Rebellious Ufology. I heard him say that humans have been in a kind of safe mode, and there wasn't enough memory to have everything start activating. And with the higher population, those things are starting to activate now. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but it's like it's comparable to RAM in a computer. I have had computers in the past where I have it, it's moving, it's doing the basics, but then I upgrade it, and all of a sudden, all these little things start happening because it never had room to work before. And then it just started working. And I think that's a lot of what to do with this awakening, myself included, has going on. All the built-ins are starting to turn back on now that there is room to work.
I think too that as we come back into existence together, different pockets of us, like we have, that that these memories are stirred up, and conversations. You've had deja vu where you thought you had a conversation that wasn't something that you remembered specifically, but gee, sounded awful familiar. Well, I think that's part of what's reminding people who they are, who they really are,
Mm-hmm.
and with uh, certain information, it's like you said, it's like I always had that information, and I didn't know it. You know, I one day started manifesting. And it was long before I moved to El Paso. So once I learned how to do it, it's I won't say it's simple. It's easy, but it's not simple.
Then you manifested a teacher.
Well, I told you at the time I was looking for someone who knew something more than I did. There were not that many of them, and I had to search you out in a McDonald's.
Yeah, Keith, I didn't tell her what I looked like. I didn't send a picture or anything like that.
Nothing.
Just told her to meet me there.
He said he would be at a McDonald's on Dyer, and so it's basically catch me if you can. Well, I walked in and Frank goes, "There's got to be 50 people in here," and I said,
That was the idea.
Not a biggie. Wait a second. And I said, "Oh, I got it." He was hiding around the corner.
No, I just created a void.
Yeah, well, I looked where there wasn't any energy. He was hiding.
Given your track record, that's not entirely a shock.
Yeah, my big thing that I've been able to do that I can claim, I can work with these guys now very, very well.
I can't
Very,
even
very
see those
well.
guys.
It's a quartz crystal.
Oh, okay.
I I'm dialed in with them now. It's like I've always known how to do this, and now I'm doing it for fun.
Do you have a laser pointer?
I do not have one. All I've got is a crummy little LED flashlight, and it's not bright enough to make a cool show.
Do you have modeling clay?
I can get some. Why do you say?
Because I know the configuration to put a crystal computer together.
I would love to know that. I have several pieces of these, and you know, I'm able to interface with these guys one at a time. I don't know how to do what you're talking about, but I would love to know how to do that. So I can get some modeling clay easy.
Yeah, when you have a chance, pick up one of those cat toy laser pointers.
Yep.
And point it through your crystal. A real crystal will look like it's dancing on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of little sparks traveling every which way.
Mm-hmm.
Man-made crystal makes a nice prism.
Yeah. I have been remembering when you handed me that manufactured crystal. Yeah. And I remember, you know what I remember?
What?
I remember wanting it to be very active, but it wasn't. It was
Right.
a rock. And
Yeah,
I just...
it's not as active as a rock is.
I know, but it was like a lump of heavy stuff. And that's all I remember about it. And I remember that
they killed a bunch of crystals in order to make that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I remember another one. I don't remember the comparison one though. I remember, was it? It was a lot smaller, right?
Right, a little one I had up on the 50-cent drawer. Just picked it up and handed it to you and said, "What's the difference here?"
Yeah,
this one's big. I'm going, no, not the externals.
Yeah, I don't think I honestly, I'm not sure I did very well on that particular test, Joe. I wasn't awake then.
You got around to it.
Yeah. Oh boy, did I. Doing these? Oh. The manifestation crystal is still, the amplifier is still doing its thing over there.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
Until you turn it off.
Yeah, she loves it.
And you don't really
it's at my sister's house. Yeah, I don't want them to turn off.
They won't.
And I'm still learning about them. It's like, I've just learned basic, and now I'm thinking the world is my oyster. That kind of level of stuff. But
gosh, what was his name? The author, Frank, that has the crystal book. Cunningham. Scott Cunningham.
Scott Cunningham
put out a very short manual, it's not a long one, about the properties of gemstones. Not just gemstones,
Melody
crystals.
put out the other one that's good.
Yeah. And that's the one, yes.
No.
What does it say?
The Magic of Stones by Patalee Class Kanota.
Yes. So, and Patalee was one of the greats. So, but I basically am self-taught and learned from Scott Cunningham. I met Scott Cunningham once, and he was doing a book signing in a mall near me, and I didn't know who he was. I had no clue. I had not even set on the path yet, really. I just knew that I wasn't buying into what was going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some bad experiences with religion and didn't want to continue it. And he was signing books. And he got to where there was nobody left, and I looked at him and I said, where does one begin this? And he handed me the truth about witchcraft. And that started me. But he looked at me and he goes, you're already doing so much of this stuff. You don't even know it. And it was true. Most of this, I looked at it and said, huh, I thought I was going to learn something, and I've been doing this.
Yeah, you learned you already knew what you were doing.
Oh, yeah. I think I came in knowing. Well, I told different ones at 4 and 5 years old that about things that were going on in their lives, and laughed at because I was just a little kid. But then turn around, they find out that's exactly what's going on. So, but that particular individual is dear to my heart, because he said read what I have written, but don't just stop with me. There's so much more to know.
Well, your quickest jump is to forget you don't remember.
Yeah. Nathan's figuring that out.
Yeah.
Just forget about it and just do it.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah.
And I intentionally opened that floodgate because what else? Sure. What else?
I mean, there's those of us who've been there already and can point you in a direction if that's where you want to go. But self-discovery is the best way to learn, because you're teaching yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the best way, but it can take a little long for most people. And much more importantly, you can run into some rather horrendous roadblocks.
Boy.
Like there are some pitfalls you really don't want to play with.
Yeah. Well, there's the occasional person who says they're the end all to be all. And if you buy into that for any length of time, you can be deceived very easily. Now,
You mean
if they
I'm
do
not?
know, they do know, that's another matter. But there's a lot of people out there that pass themselves off as being experts in a field they know very little about.
That's why I refuse to call myself an expert. I'm a specialist, yes. But my brother actually pointed out what an expert is. Bear in mind, my brother had a tested IQ in excess of 180.
Oh, Dylan, he had some idea.
Well, he identified an expert as an unknown drip under pressure.
Yeah. Boy, did that describe me. Under pressure all the time. I have plenty here to keep me humble. I have my moments, as you well know, huh?
All right, here comes Raven. All right.
Yeah, I wanted to not surprise everybody. She has been added.
Hi.
Hey, Raven.
Hello. How are you?
I'm as mean as ever.
Mean as
Still
ever.
breathing.
Now this is very nice.
And my students used to laugh in my classroom when I said that too.
Yeah. Samo has a couple of nice things to say, and I want to acknowledge them. Said, you're always passing awesome knowledge to us. Oh, honey. I pass it along so you don't have to learn it the hard way. At least you recognize it if you do. Hi, Raven.
Hi, so nice to see
Raven.
you.
Now you can see me, yes.
It's so good to put a face with the name and the voice.
Thank you. I
I'm
I've
so
been
sorry about
pestering
your loss
Frank.
with your dog.
Oh,
I
thank you. Yeah, it
I
broke
know
my
what that is
heart.
like, and I feel for you. I feel for
Yeah,
you totally. Mm.
yeah. She was with us for 20 years,
Oh,
and it's quite unusual for a Chihuahua to last that long. But
Unusual for
she gave it
Chihuahua to last
she
10
gave it her
years.
all. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry
So
for your loss.
she gave it 110%.
No more
And
Farito.
pardon me,
Hmm.
No more Farito.
no more chorizo,
No, Farito.
no more burritos. That's got a good story to it. Joe and Frank and I had a show on Hazy Radio for a time, and when we were first opening up our program, it was very much like this one, just kind of chaotic, you know. And Joe remarked that he was going to have my Chihuahua as a burrito,
Ah.
and our staff monitor decided he was the enemy and was going to ban him for life. I
So
said,
what happened to the
"Oh no,
monitor?
she loves him dearly." You know, I think you might have met our burrito, Nathan. But
Yeah, he
I
did.
think I did.
yeah, just a little Chihuahua person.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what, boss dog she was. Had a big white snout. I hate saying that. He's a beautiful animal. He's a rescue, and if she told him go, he went. And then we've got a coton de Tulare, which is more or less a poodle with a fancy name. And he was scared silly of her. And if she wanted him to go someplace, he'd get there first. You know. So she's in the best place now.
Yeah.
And I said earlier on in the program, you know, something fun happened, something good. No, we this is occurred just day before yesterday, and my my dogs always my dogs have basically been taken over by my ex-husband.
Oh.
He lives in the corner pocket, and
Mhm.
anyhow, she always woke him up first thing in the morning to take them out.
Mhm.
And the two boy dogs were out in the kitchen having their meal, and Millard felt a bounce on his feet this morning
Oh
to
yes,
wake
I
him
heard
up.
you talk about that. Yes. So she was
Yeah, to
definitely
wake him
there.
up.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm coming, and wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, Joe has been a first-hand viewer of some of the animals that still run around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to pet them, and they
No,
throw a
be
hand
busy
up.
working. Remember when we were making that website?
Oh, we were busy. We were hard at it, and suddenly his hand flew up in the air. I'm like, now what? And you know, yeah, and and he leans over and he's searching around. I said, "What are you looking for?" He goes, well, "Where's the dog? I didn't know you had a dog in here." At that time, I didn't.
Ah.
There wasn't one. My black lab had passed away, but
Hmm.
she's still alive. She's still around.
Yeah.
She shows up every now and again. We'll see a black tail go around the corner. It's the biggest black old flag of a tail you ever saw.
Mhm.
So
I really should come by and visit at some point.
I wish
I
you
would love to
would.
come back and visit
Yeah, I would
in
be happy to
person.
see you.
So would
Be
you like a
great to-
kitten, Nan?
Why, what?
Would you like a kitten? I have 12 of them running around right now.
If I bring a cat in this house, my name's gonna be Mud. You know?
Moon mud.
Mud.
What? It's Moon,
Moon
not Mud.
mud.
Yeah, no. But, you know,
Okay,
Frank's allergic to cats, and so is, so are John and Millard, and Chelsea is as well. So me
Well-
having a cat in the house probably wouldn't be in my best interest.
Hmm.
And of course, I
Doesn't
have
sound like it.
breathing issues, so
Okay, so
you know, trying
speaking
to
of
do
Moon, I've got
that.
something to really crazy to tell you guys about that happened tonight.
Oh,
just
great!
in
Can
between
you turn
shows.
her up a little bit, Nathan?
Here, let me see some. Here, hold on a second. Is that
Yeah, that's a little
Is that
bit
better?
That's got an echo.
okay?
Wait a minute.
Mind you, in all
Oh, there's an
fairness,
echo?
I think I've got a problem on that and not on the technological side.
Okay, so I had his speakers. Here, let me plug them back in then. Here, hold on a second. It's back in here.
Ah,
Oh, that's really
There we go.
annoying, right?
There we go. There we go. Okay, sorry
Now
about that.
I hear you.
Okay. All right, I'll just talk a little. Okay, great. So I had something just absolutely bizarre happen to me tonight. So after Nathan wrapped up the first hour, I ran out and picked up my food and stopped at the Circle K to get my coffee. Sitting there, pay for my coffee, and I see this
She's
Big
sort
guy.
of coming in
big
and
guy, he's
out.
probably 6'2",
Hold up.
6'3".
We're getting every
Hmm?
two words.
Hang on.
We're
Is there
missing
any
every
way you
third
can
word.
turn
Okay,
her up?
so
I've got her turned way up.
I think that's the
And,
problem.
yeah, you're
it's clipping.
choppy.
It's called clipping.
um,
The
Yeah, it's
amplifiers.
clipping.
what do I do?
I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. All I can do is do echo
I'm laying odds on
cancellation.
what the problem is, guys.
What's
What's
that?
Somewhere in the middle.
Don't take this the wrong way, whatever you do, Raven. I'm laying odds
Okay.
that I'm literally the cause in this case.
Why?
Okay.
My energy's
I
been
got
off all day.
something.
I'm fighting a heart attack to start with. But I also know what's causing it. Do not make the mistake of not eating every 12 hours. Until every 12 hours. This is not a good idea when
Well,
you've
that's
got
funny
a
you
system
say that.
like mine.
Maybe you
I-
need to have a snack.
I do that
or
all the
something.
time.
I go 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, but in my
Sometimes I-
case, I eat one meal a day. I start in the morning and I finish when I go to bed.
Oh, I don't eat that much.
I don't eat that much either. Not in my eyes. But no, I'm going to have to bow out. And like I said, don't take this the wrong way, Raven. But hopefully that
Okay.
straightens things out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well, take care. I hope you feel better.
Well, if I don't die, I'll feel better.
Well,
And
don't
if I
die.
do die and come back, I'll
Oh.
be fine.
No, you'll be all right. Did you better go have yourself something to eat?
Yeah, go
Might be
Yeah.
an idea.
eat. Take care of that.
yeah. Thanks
doke.
for coming by, Keith, and
We enjoyed it.
it's always great to have you here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always learn something.
Well, Nancy, you know how to find me.
Yes, sir. You're
No.
an email away.
Okie doke, guys.
Good to see you, Keith.
My
Nice to meet
email's
you.
easy to figure out, Keith.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
You too.
I love Keith. He is awesome,
He's wonderful.
and he has been able to help me do all this stuff with his particular insight. You know, his particular insight has helped me, and it's just wow, even from a distance, because this is the most I've ever spoken with him, like ever. I've been watching him for years, but
Oh yeah.
only now is the time to communicate directly with him, and it just seems to be that's the way it was supposed to be.
Probably ready for the information.
Yeah, now, and I think he knows that probably better than I do.
Well, we had met Keith back when we were doing radio, and I told Frank at the time that he was something extraordinary, and I still hold by that. We were fortunate enough to get to have him at our house for oh about a week, to visit and catch up on old times, It's a couple of aeons worth, and I'll tell you what, it was mind opening. No, I think after I had met him, I could do so much more, and I knew so much ahead of that.
Yeah,
You know,
I've never even seen him in person,
different
and
application.
it's happening to me, and I've never
Yeah.
met him in person,
Yeah.
and I'm loving it.
Yeah,
But
he's somebody special.
yeah, definitely. And
Uh,
He is.
I've figured out a long time ago that people come into your life at exactly the time you're ready for them to do so.
hmm
And
yeah, and fanboy me, I had emailed him and messaged him several times, just like kind of like as a fanboy from the outside looking in, and now I'm on the inside, going, "Hey, did you know about this stuff? Oh yeah, I knew about that. You're just now figuring it out." I'm like, I'm just the monkey boy. So yeah.
well, you need to stop calling yourself that because you're not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
that has been the biggest change
Yeah.
for me, is like going from someone who is outside looking in to someone doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm still adjusting. I don't think I'll ever stop adjusting because there's so much going on that I'm discovering. It
There's
is
something to learn. There's something new to learn. You can think you have experienced all of it at some point, and then you find out that you're just scratching the top.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had people come to me and say that I want to learn to do this, right? And they read a book, so they knew all about it.
A book.
And of course, when you're teaching that, you learn what they know
hmm
and where they're ready to apply, and
Yeah.
teach them from their level, because you can't teach them from yours.
No,
You can
I
start,
wasn't
You
ready.
can start stuff, you put it out there, but till their mind can grasp it, they can't get it.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of that. Okay, Raven, you got interrupted. Let's see if your sound is
Yes,
doing better
please.
now.
Oh, okay.
Some
All right. Is that better? Check 1,
Still
2,
staccato.
3. Oh no.
sounds good.
Is it better? Okay. All right. Okay. Good. All right. So this is a weird thing that happened tonight. So bizarre.
Yeah, it's still
So
cutting
bizarre.
out.
It's staccato. Can you hear her?
It's
Nancy?
probably.
Can you,
You know
turn
what it
your volume
sounds
down
like?
just a little?
Let's see. Well,
Turn my volume down a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
you go ahead.
Sounds like clipping.
Okay. Is that,
That's the
Is that
noise
better?
it's made. Yes.
As far
Is
as
that
I'm
better?
concerned, yes. Yes. But you're going to have to talk more than just that.
Okay.
Is that better?
so. Okay. So I'm standing in line. It's Circle K tonight, and I noticed this guy. I'm facing the doors, the entrance, and these two guys in front of me are messing around, taking forever. And I look at this guy. And this guy's big. He's like 6'3", big guy. And he's looking at me as he's coming in the door. He's making direct eye contact with me, and he smiles, and I smile back. And he said, how are you doing? Like he knew me. And my mind's racing, going, do I know this guy? What's his name? And I said, hi, how are you? He goes, you look nice tonight. And he walked right past me and he does his thing. And I'm standing there going, where do I know this guy from? And this voice in my head said, you were on a UFO together, one of those times that you were abducted. I about fell out of my, I'm like, no, this is my imagination. This has got to be my imagination. Why the hell would my imagination say something like that? I'm freaking out. So my mind is racing. I can't think straight. It's my turn to get up there to pay for my coffee and stuff. And he's now gotten in line, and there's one person in between us. And I'm on this little sip. It's called a sip and save thing where you pay a fee every month, and you put your phone number in and it's free, whatever. And the damn thing isn't taking my phone number. And I hear him holler from the back of the line, get her 10 lottery tickets, any kind that she wants. I'm buying. Like, this guy must be drunk. I just kind of blew him off, just kind of ignored him. I'm kind of freaked out by this point. And finally, we can't get the thing to take my phone number. The guy says, just forget about it. It's I know you. Just go on. You're fine. And so I started to walk away. He's like, oh, no, you didn't get your lottery tickets. He goes, I'm serious. I'll pay for whatever 10 lottery tickets she wants. I'm like, well, thank you. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And there's just this familiarity. I don't think I've really seen this guy before, but something is really okay. So I kind of went there, and the attendant says, what do you want? And I said, I don't know. I don't usually play the lottery. Just give me kind of whatever then. And he looked at me and he says, Moondog 2010. And I said, because remember this, and dog is spelled D-A-W-G, Moondog 2010. Look me up on YouTube. I said, oh, okay. And that was just this weird thing. So, okay, the guy hands me the lottery tickets and kind of walk out. I said, thank you. That was really nice. That is, random act of kindness. And I said, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. He said, well, good luck. And he got in his car and drove away. I'm like, that just doesn't happen. I mean, but he did. But the thing was, why did I hear that in my head? And see, I'm normally claircognizant anyway. And it was like from the same place that kind of claircognizant comes from. It's not literally a voice in my head, but you know what I mean. And I know you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's that
You shouldn't
knowing.
dismiss it, Raven.
And I'm thinking, I have not went and I've not done like you suggested, Shadow, and doing the self-hypnosis thing, because part of me is scared to death and doesn't want to know, and but for that to be in my head when I saw that guy, that you were on a ship with him, one of those times you were abducted. I'm like, that's where I knew him from. I mean, that's just a weird thing to even pop in your head to begin with, and even
I
don't know.
You're in the right place for weird things popping in your head.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so quantum. It's quantum.
7-Eleven has become quantum.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
And just the fact that so if I would have thought about it and had my wits about me, I would have asked him about it, because he looked at me like he knew me. He recognized me, and he, and I wasn't normally I would be uncomfortable with a stranger giving that much eye contact to me, but I wasn't. I wasn't intimidated at all, and then I also had this sense of familiarity. And as I'm racking my brain trying to think of where I might have seen him before or where I knew him from,
Raven,
then that
you do a show, right? You do a YouTube show, or a
not
stream?
yet. Not yet.
But
Or this
you
one.
do, and I would give you dollars to
This is
donuts. They know you.
Yeah.
You don't know them, but they probably know you.
But when you first started telling your story there, it reminded me that this week my wife took me out to Olive Garden, and we were starting to leave Olive Garden, and there was a little girl coming into Olive Garden. I took one look at her, and she started crying.
Oh, poor baby.
I just came from Olive Garden
Well,
That's where I went. I went to Olive Garden and the Circle K. Oh my God. So you look at this little girl and she just starts crying?
she just started crying. Bella comes up, stands up beside me, gets on her hind legs and does this bit.
Well, you waved to her first.
Yeah, I waved to the girl, but Bella stands up and does this bit. The girl starts smiling and going, "Oh, what a cute dog!"
Aw.
Oh, wow.
She
Wow.
was.
You know, it could be that he's caught your show. He knew who you were. But
Well,
I think I would go with my first thought there because those are usually the right ones.
yeah,
It
this
may
is
not
really,
be easy
that really
to
freaked me
look
out.
at.
Still
and
freaks me out.
Yeah, it might not be easy to look at.
Okay.
To acknowledge, but you're here, you're alive, you're well. Whatever it wasn't too awful bad.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
gone to the YouTube channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, briefly. Mm-hmm. He looked pretty decent.
Okay,
He doesn't seem
because
like
I'm
some
there now.
psychopath. Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't. And okay. Did it ring any bells?
Not really. I didn't look very long. When I got in my Jeep, I wrote it down and I looked at it real quick. I didn't watch any of the videos or anything. I just kind of scrolled down and looked to see if it was the right person, trying to see one that had showed his face, make sure it was the right one. Yeah,
And
that's
that's
all.
him? That's for sure him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start following him. And because that's a very good experience. When someone comes up to you and you hear a voice in your head, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. It's new. I get it. It makes you nervous because it's so different than what everything else is. Samo said
Yeah.
it. Embrace
I mean,
it.
that was
Embrace it. Don't be.
like I said. Normally, I would be uncomfortable and look away if a stranger would.
I was thinking the same thing.
What are you
Cindy.
laughing at? Huh?
Did you win any money?
Yeah.
Did you win?
Yeah, and what about
did you
the
win any money?
tickets?
Oh, yeah. The two of them. Two of them were winners. One is for $1, one for $2. So I'll take this and get two more lottery tickets or three.
One
I
and
guess.
two. You
Yeah,
said
one's
one and
$2.
two, right? Like
Yeah.
your
$2.
statement, one and two.
One's winning, one on this one. Yeah. So yeah, $3.
Yeah.
Well, I like your station.
Do you see a synchronicity?
Like your
Yeah.
station.
Do you see a synchronicity? Shadow just said it. 1 and 2.
Oh God. Yeah.
Bling. There's the light
Numerology
bulb right there.
is that is known as the teacher and the student.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big grand thing. It could be a 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
Buy more cat
Oh
food.
my God.
That's very good. When you get one and
So-
two following
Nice, Cindy,
each
nice.
other in something significant, it means
Yeah.
to be watching because you may be teaching something, you may be learning something, and it's important that you.
There is
learn
a synchronicity for you, an everyday synchronicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say something about that. You know how for weeks now I've been seeing all these. Oh my God. The door just blew open. Okay. Like somebody just opened.
Cindy
door
Beck
and
says
shut it.
buy more cat food.
Okay, it's just weird.
Beware
this
the
one.
There you
raccoon.
go.
Anyway, I was kind of getting weird. This last week, I wasn't getting any number sequences at all. And yet, prior to that, I mean, for like really heavily for 4 or 5 weeks, every day there would be at least one. And then it just like stopped. And this whole last week has been nothing. And I'm like, and I felt just off, just woke up and the whole world like tilted somehow, and I was not in balance with it anymore or in sync with it. And I don't know what changed or what was different. There's nothing really traumatic that happened or anything weird. And then within this tonight, that's kind of, I don't know. Are you still seeing the number sequences, Nathan?
That's just the universe telling you it's all cool.
Yes.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
my numbers have gone back to repeating numbers.
Okay.
They were in sequence. They were in like 1, 2, 3, 4, and numerical order, but now it's gone back to sequential. I mean, not sequential, but repeating.
Usually I see my birthday.
And I am
at least
noticing
2
it.
or 3 times a week, and I've been seeing it one off. Instead of 12/26, I'll see 12/27. I'm like, so is that the universe telling me I'm still off with everything? It's still off.
Oh, no, you're not off.
Well,
No,
it's
if
not,
you're seeing
I
them,
usually see it at
you're
12/26,
on.
which is my birthday, but it's like I'm catching it at 12/27 instead of 12/26. I'm like, what does that mean?
Close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough. And if it's repeating over and over and over, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's over and over and over, then it's something. Is it lotion time, Joe?
Okay, so Atlantis.
Energy. You want to play catch?
So have all of you had a lot of? Oh, who's that?
Hello.
That is
What is that?
Owlet. This is my owl. Let me see if I can get it to
I
focus.
was gonna say that looks like an owl.
Yes. Owls are my thing.
Cool.
There he goes.
Oh, and you waited till Keith was gone to talk about the owls.
He's a lot of fun.
That's neat.
He's just a little beanie baby. Frank,
I have owls around the
I
house.
was having a bad
Like
week,
him.
of course, and I ended up, my husband gave me this little owl person
Oh,
to remind me what's important.
cool.
So,
These are
of
sacred
course,
to
my
Minerva.
patron,
Minerva.
my
And Lilith.
patron is always depicted holding owls and that sort of thing. That's
Lilith?
Inanna.
And Anna. Okay.
Yeah. Although Lilith
Okay,
does
yeah.
that also. So does Athena.
Mm-hmm.
And Minerva, I think.
Minerva. Yeah.
Yeah.
Minerva and Lilith are the only two I know.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a black
Lilith
owl, go
has-
for Ereshkigal.
Yeah.
what?
Ereshkigal. Yeah.
Black owls for
Ereshkigal?
Ereshkigal.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
You know more about her than I do, Joe.
Who's? So,
Sumerian goddess.
what about her?
And
She would have been known in the Celtic realm as Hel.
yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about then.
Yeah. And her sister, of course, is
Okay.
Inanna. And she's the goddess of heaven.
And they
So-
have a fight.
Yeah.
Okay, you called her Ereshkigal. How do you say that? How do you spell that?
Ereshkigal.
Rish.
Ereshkigal.
Ereshkigal.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
I will put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I kind of like her
In
because
just
that's
a
where the
second.
party is. So
Yeah. I had a teacher who took us on a guided meditation to go down to hell and meet hell. And
not nearly
it
as
was a
scary.
very intense.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did kind
she's
That's
intense.
good.
That's a good word for her.
she grabbed, and this I mean I know it was a meditation. This was not me and my imagination making this up. mean, and I was
No.
really deep into this meditation.
Mhm.
And he said that she would be coming out from like a hut type thing, and she'll say something to you. Well, when it was my turn, she came out. She didn't really say anything. At first, she snatched my hand up and flipped my wrist over and reached behind her and got a branding iron out and branded a bind rune in the palm of my hand.
Oh, she
Yeah.
claimed you.
Is that what that meant? I don't know.
I
But she
think
did
so.
a bind rune and
Is that
and it
your
didn't
thought,
hurt.
Joe?
I could hear
Yes.
my flesh sizzle,
Uh,
but it didn't
one of the
hurt.
things to remember about the goddesses is you don't choose them; they choose you. And it's not at all uncommon for one of them to say, this person resonates with the type of magics that I do. And I think everybody hears the
Okay.
word hell and just kind of goes into a minor panic.
Mhm.
But quite honestly,
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah, they
of
do.
a
Especially when that rune comes up.
when you remember that you go from life into death, and then you go from death into life. You know, and who's the keeper of that from going
Yeah.
from death into life? That's Ereshkigal.
If Nergal's not,
Well,
if
Nergal's what? Truth.
Nergal's not watching you struggle.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, understand
in the-
about Nergal. He is a god of truth, and nothing is hidden from him. Nothing. And if you're not forthcoming with who you are really, he'll smart you until you do come to terms with who you are really.
Slap you in that jail and leave you there and
hmm Yeah.
not tell you that he didn't lock it.
Yeah. None of those doors are
So is-
locked. We can open them.
Is Ereshkigal pictured as like half white and half dark, or half skeleton, half flesh?
Sometimes.
She
I
has
think-
many pictures.
No.
but
It really
I
doesn't
haven't
come
seen
into that,
that.
though.
yeah,
That description fits someone else I know.
mostly all dark.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Not
how hell is.
Ereshkigal.
Here, I'll show you.
Well,
that's how hell
but
is
it's
pictured.
a whole different pantheon that you're thinking of, Nathan.
Yeah, very.
Also called Dame Hulda or Haggle. Here, I'll show you. Here, let me find.
Some of the Santeria and
Here.
voodoo and some of that.
Let's see if I can get this right here. Okay, whoops.
I say I
Okay.
am seeing a tree of life and
She's right there in the middle.
very hard.
Yeah, it's not very.
Just hold still. Oh, I see what she is. She's more of a
It's her wing.
Katie type, but only one half and one half. Okay.
Okay, if you
And then that's
look
her
on
exodus.
Wikipedia, if you look on Wikipedia on Ereshkigal, she's
And
holding
we
an
lost
ankh in one. What?
We lost Nathan. It's his show. He
Okay.
can't leave.
She's holding
It's your
an
show.
ankh in-
You can't leave.
What happened? I got
You
booted.
disappeared.
Everything just stopped.
Well, you've got that storm
Wow.
there again.
Yeah, it's on its way. Did y'all hear me talking at all?
No.
No.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Okay, well,
It's picked up here.
yeah, for a minute
uh,
there it was
Tarp
only Raven and me,
Can-
and I was
can you finish your thought there, Joe?
Excuse me?
Can you finish your thought there? You were
Well-
trying to explain something.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
If you'll go to Wikipedia and look up Ereshkigal, you'll see her, and she has an ankh in one hand, and I don't. Uh, oh, great! I know the name of it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. In the other hand, it's a musical instrument. In the other hand, she
Lyre?
has wings like a moth, folded down. But she has an owl, and
Yeah.
she's got two leopards, and then she's got on the owls. Their legs form the symbol for Virgo on each owl.
Symbols of what?
Virgo.
Virgo. Okay.
She has bird feet. And her head is disproportionately large for her body, but it's still a pretty head. And I think Nathan should remember the descent of Inanna into the underworld, where she has to fight her sister.
Oh,
Right.
That's every Halloween.
I was thinking it was Lilith.
No, it's Ereshkigal she has to fight. Ereshkigal is the queen of the underworld.
Let me see if I can do this.
Okay.
If it will let me.
If here,
She's
the on either side,
dinging out.
top of the leopards or cats. But yeah, those are signs of immortality. Those onk-looking things, but they're not really onks. They're called something else.
Yeah,
it's
for
a
the
sign
muggles
symbol
who've
of
got
immortality.
amongst us, they're close enough to being onks because they have the same
Yeah.
meaning.
Okay, that is okay. Shit, I have seen this as identified as Lilith before, so I always thought it was Lilith. Okay,
They
So,
do
and
that. They
so I
they
spelled it
get
wrong here.
confused who's who.
but
A lot of the
Yeah.
academics do.
so
Even the archaeologists do.
her feet are like an owl, and she's even got like a dew claw or something right above her calf muscle on either side
Mhm.
there. So
Yep.
is she part owl or is she part
Well, she rules the darkness.
Owls are part of the darkness.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Okay. I'm gonna spell it
So
wrong.
I think that's why her bird is, of course, owls. Of course, she rules bats too, doesn't she, Joe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of moths flying in the lights at nighttime. And that's their own
Exactly.
wings.
Got lots of those around here. We got lots of owls around here too. Every night they're
Yeah.
out there. They make some of the funniest noises. I just love them. At first, I didn't know what the hell it was. I was kind of freaked out by it. And then somebody said,
Well,
they're
something's
just owls,
loading,
okay.
loading.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to get
There we go.
It's
Yeah.
the
cool.
Wikipedia page up.
Just wanted to let you know that it was.
It is up now.
Not yet. It's still
Okay.
loading. Oh, there it goes.
Yep, that
There
one
Okay.
right
she
there.
is.
There it is. Yeah. That's exactly it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Fascinating.
fan art too. I had to get away from that stuff because it's all very, very dark looking. But she doesn't appear dark to me.
No, I never thought of her that way.
Their gal can appear to be very dark to you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's bright and shiny armor,
Yeah, yeah. It burns you with truth.
Hmm.
I tell you, he's the one to have on your side if you need to get the truth out at a court hearing. He
Or
was
have a
called-
little dog give you help you with a chant.
Exactly.
Yeah, here.
I don't think we'll ever forget that one.
Oh, that was classic.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, she's interesting to you. That's a good place to look at her, see what she's about.
Cool, thank you.
There's a very wide pantheon of Sumerian uh,
Gods and
gods and
goddesses.
goddesses and
Demigods.
yeah, demis, a sort of kind of gods if you count Gulas.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of culture there too, and from the earliest civilization that we know about right now. Now we can say we know of Atlantis,
Mhm.
but to get as specific on it, where we can show archaeological things, we don't have that yet.
Right.
So Sumer and that crowd are as far back as we can go at this moment. At least
What
for-
about
Right.
what's the new one? Not the new one, but the used to be
Tepe,
new one.
Tepe Yankee.
Oh,
Göbekli
oh,
Tepe.
yeah, that's the new one.
What am I thinking of? Tepe
Tepe.
Go
something
back,
else.
go back,
Go Becky.
Yeah.
Gobekli Tepe.
Göbekli
Yeah,
Tepe.
yeah.
Göbekli
Okay.
Tepe.
And then there's a newer one that Joe just mentioned. That's even
That's
older.
in Turkey, where Sumer
Yeah.
and the
It's on the
Sumerians
edge of-
and and some of
Oh, that-
those
Like in,
where the Sumerian culture started was Iraq.
Be right back.
Yeah.
Coffee.
So
Iraq and Turkey and
That-
yeah, Iraq. The
Cradle.
Tepe I can't even say it.
Gobekli
Göbekli.
Tepe.
Göbekli
That's
Tepe.
It's not far from Mount Sinai.
So how far back
Not
that
far.
goes, I have no clue. I haven't
Oh,
read enough about it to know. You've
It's the
studied
oldest. It's older
anything
than
about
Sumer.
it, Joe?
I've studied some about it, but the archaeologists are just are just confused about it too, because here you have a city totally built up, totally ready for its population, and suddenly you bury it.
Mhm.
That
And
whole
tried to
area
maybe
is
preserve
full
it.
of earthquakes.
Yeah, it's
No,
full
it
of
was buried. It was
earthquakes.
intentionally buried. It was intentionally buried by the people.
Yeah, it's intentionally
that- that
buried.
was-
Yeah, so why? That's,
to hide it,
unless they
It's
thought maybe they needed to
to
go
hide it or
back at
preserve
some
it. It's
point.
that simple. There's only two reasons to bury things: to hide them or to preserve them.
Yeah. Well, maybe they thought they would need to go back to them at some point.
Yeah, I think
They
so.
wanted it
There's
there
something.
for them if they did.
It'd be easier to build anew than to unbury it.
The pillars
I don't
look
know.
very much like the like piano keys, and they're actually tuned. So it had something to do with frequency and harmonics.
Yeah, a
They're
lot of
very,
them
they're
look
very
like animals.
sophisticated. And then they have animals.
them-
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
animals carved on them and so forth. But they kind of they're like in a T shape. But they remind me very much of like the inside of a piano. The things that
Nor an upside down
the,
L.
the hammer that hits the strings. But
Oh.
these are they're
And that is a mechanism that didn't supposedly didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute, huh?
they've only got
Hmm.
I guess just an eighth of that even excavated. There's so much more. They've with the ground penetrating radar, I think they call it LIDAR or whatever, they have identified that whole area, that whole hilltop is full of these little circular little like temples that are connected. I don't know what to call them. They're like little enclosures.
Rooms.
But yeah, something like that.
Little pods.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue, and I think it'll be some time before they do. That was the first group of buildings of that sort that's come to light so far. But as we found with Stonehenge, it doesn't have to be the only one. It
Yeah.
really doesn't. And one of the old uh, stories is that humankind uh, hid underground.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Hopi and the Cherokee
Yep.
Indians both have that legend.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a place in
There's
I think India where they've uncovered, or no, it's Turkey, where they've got a whole complex underneath underground that could hold up to 2,000 people.
that one's pretty amazing. That one's actually my favorite. Actually, my favorite's the
Yeah.
one in I think it's Cambodia. I could be wrong, but where they started with flat ground and dug down to build it.
Oh,
what I'm
you're
talking
talking
about?
Ethiopia. Those
Ethiopia,
temples.
yeah,
Yeah.
freaking amazing. That sort of thinking is just
Yeah.
Yeah, they
There's
said
buildings,
ridiculous.
angels did it
Ridiculously big.
buildings
We
in
couldn't do it
India.
today.
at night.
We couldn't do it today.
What?
Say again, Joe.
There's a little dog.
Oh, okay.
Is it time for little dogs and big guys to go to bed?
Big guys go to bed, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well,
You
Joe,
have
you're
a
not
good
gonna.
evening.
Yeah, I'm
Have a
having
great
to
week.
end the
Yeah.
broadcast now too because I got a message, and I get to go to the airport in the morning. Yay!
Yay.
So
Have a
okay,
nice
Joe.
flight.
I'm not flying out, but I'll talk to you soon, Joe. And it was
Have a
great
good
having
week,
you
buddy.
on. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that other person because she's legally changed her name.
Oh,
I must have missed
The
something.
one cat
Oh,
Fronty.
okay.
She legally changed her name, and I think that's how she disappeared on us there.
Okay. Well,
All right.
that's interesting. Okay, well, I'll talk to you soon, Joe.
All right. Bye bye.
Good to see you,
Bye-bye.
Joe.
have a good evening, Joe.
And he's out. Okay, but I did get a message. I got to take somebody to the airport in the morning. So I'm going to stop the broadcast show, but don't go anywhere yet. I'm not in the red yet. So
Okay.
Okay.
just don't hang up. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't.
Okay. All right. And everybody watching, thanks for joining for the Quantum Show. It's a good one. And they're all good. You know what? The best show since the last show. And hit like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
Please.
Hope you like what you hear, and talk to y'all later. Keep it quantum.
Keep it quantum.
For sure.